The next time you're at Dollar Tree, run down to their hardware section and grab some of these beautiful drawer pulls. Why? I'm going to explain it all in today's all new video. Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Shannon from TheDailyDIYer.com, and today's video is going to absolutely blow your mind. You're not going to look at these drawer pulls the same. And I also love that they have different colors. They have gold, they have black, and they have different styles. And for this first idea, we're gonna grab one of these wood pumpkins. Look how stinking gorgeous this is. How is this a Dollar Tree item? It looks high end, but we're gonna take it up a notch, make it a little bit more high end and custom by flipping this pumpkin over to the back side. We are gonna remove that sticker. I did want to show you this is a plus item. It is $5. It did ring up $5, so I thought it was a pretty good deal. And we're gonna pair it with two of these gold drawer pulls. You do not need those screws that come in it, but look at this. It is metal. They are nice. They are durable. And we're gonna turn them into feet and kind of make a more raised tray. And since we're not using the screws, I didn't want to screw all the way through this. We're going to use some simple E6000 glue. This is a heavy duty glue that's going to sit for 24 hours to cure fully and be pretty much like a permanent adhesive for us, so it's not going to come off. So as I said, we flipped this over to the back side and we're just gluing those feet onto the back side of this pumpkin. As you know, I like to keep these first projects really simple, easy, beginner friendly. Couldn't be more beginner friendly. I eyeballed this and then I had to go back and kind of adjust it a little bit because one of mine was wonky, but a ruler helps in this scenario. Once it's sat for 24 hours, look, these are on there permanently for us, and we've just created a nice raised tray. Now, not only am I obsessed with making charcuterie boards, I am obsessed with eating them too. So I took this opportunity to make a cute little pumpkin charcuterie with the emphasis on kind of orangey looking things. Of course, some meat, some cheese, some fruit, a little bit of variety, throwing in some nuts in there. So easy to do, and it looks so pretty. Now this pumpkin is not wood, which I actually really appreciate because it's more of like a resin, not like a plastic tray, not like their party trays, nicer than that, but that makes it so much easier to clean. You don't have to put any parchment paper down. You can just put your food right onto the tray, and once you take it off, take it to the sink, wash it, and you are good to go for the next time. This is so great for fall entertaining. It would be great for Thanksgiving. Turn it into a s'mores board, but I just feel like those raised feet on there take it to the next level to make it a little bit more high-end, fancy, custom. Nobody else is gonna have it. Give it a try. For our next project, we do need 4 items from Dollar Tree, starting with a bamboo tray. You're gonna need a drawer pull, a thing of craft paper, and then you could use ribbon or anything really that you have laying around, but I grabbed some of this faux leather from Dollar Tree. We're gonna combine this all and make a really pretty note board. So first things first, on your bamboo tray, lay out where you need to drill holes for your drawer pull. So a couple pencil marks on there, and then you're going to need a drill bit that is going to be the same size as the screws that come with the drawer pulls. So once you get that added in to your drill, you're gonna drill right on those pencil marks that we made earlier. All right, so it couldn't be easier than that. Drilled 2 holes, and now we need to add our screws. However, these screws are super long. It was driving me crazy because I want to use screws to permanently attach things, and I didn't know how to cut down the screws until I got the idea of, hey, they make bolt cutters. I've never owned one of these, never used one. You're gonna get to see me use bolt cutters for the first time right here, and if I can do this on camera for you, easy peasy, you can do it too. I did get these from Amazon. I'll link them down below for you, but I'm sure they're in the hardware section of like Walmart hardware stores, obviously. But look at that. It's got like razor blades in there, and it just smushes right through the metal. And I cut my bolts down about halfway And I only had to do that 2 times for this project. Stuck them through the back of the board and used a screwdriver from Dollar Tree to attach the handle onto the front. I did have to come in with my drill to tighten these down all the way. I want to make sure they were good and tight. All right, so this is a little bit more, you know, like next step DIY. We used a drill, we had to drill holes, we had to use the screwdriver. Not a big deal though. These are good in there, nice and sturdy. We are making a quality piece here. Even though we're using faux leather and all supplies from Dollar Tree, this is gonna look like $1,000,000. So I'm just cutting a small strip of the faux leather off the roll that it came on. We are gonna put that towards the bottom of the cutting board, flip it over, hot glue it on. If you have a staple gun, that works too. Use what you got. You can even tape it down if you wanted to. And we're just gonna smush that on there, make sure it stays really good. And what we've done is we've created a little pocket for us to be able to put a roll of paper under, which is the next step. So here's our board so far. Grab out your paper roll of craft paper from the Dollar Tree. We're gonna cut that down so it's gonna fit the size in between where the bars of our handle are. You'll see that right here. So we're just kind of gonna eyeball it. And use some scissors, cut it down to size. We're gonna have to roll that paper onto the handle. Just make sure you roll it away from you, so that way when you pull the paper down, it lays flat on the board and it can easily slip underneath that leather. And there you go. We combined 4 Dollar Tree finds into the most fancy little notepad, which would be great for your desk, great as a gift, and just a fun DIY to give a try. Now I love the bones of this sign. It's got the wood frame, but the design in the middle obviously is very Valentine's Day. We're gonna fix that with the help of a gold handle and a piece of this wallpaper left over from this video, which I'll link down below for you. Peel and stick hacks video. You're not going to miss that. If you haven't seen that, head over and watch that one next, because there are so many amazing things you can do with that peel and stick wallpaper, and I came up with some pretty genius ideas. So click on that video next. This was a piece left over that I filed away, was able to pull back out, and we're gonna use that to cover up that weird design that was on the front of this sign from Dollar Tree. I don't know why Dollar Tree puts so much glitter on their signs. And I love glitter. Don't get me wrong. I'm a glitter girl. I will totally add it where it's needed, but we're wanting to make this a little bit more classy and sophisticated, and this kind of marble design is definitely more the vibe I'm going for. And it's so easy. You just cut it down to size, peel off the paper backing, and stick it right over that design. So this project could go a lot of different ways, but you're probably wondering, what in the world is she making? Well, I'm turning this into a beautiful jewelry holder, especially with the help of this gorgeous gold handle. We are going to mark where the screws need to go onto the front of this design, onto the front of this piece, and come in, drill our holes, and we are going to use those screws to screw the handle onto the sign. Now, you could glue it, but my worry was that that wallpaper was gonna peel off the front and then we would have a mess eventually, right? So we're gonna go ahead and cut our bolts down because these signs are like super duper thin. So I cut these bolts down more than halfway. I would say probably you just want 1/4 of the screw, enough that it's gonna go through the sign and still have some threads on there to go up into those handles. I don't know why I didn't get bolt cutters long ago. I love them. So I will link these down below for you. I have a feeling I am going to be using these a lot coming up. I love those miter shears to cut down wood and stuff, and these may come in handy for things like that too, and maybe make it a little bit easier even. So Glad I added that new addition to my craft stash, and they're super affordable too. So we're gonna add this handle to the top of this sign. Looking pretty, right? But we're gonna make it even more pretty. At Dollar Tree, I found this lanyard in the back to school section. I know, right? It's like a necklace. I cut it down. We're gonna use it. There were holes already in the top of the sign, and I didn't want to cover them up. I didn't want to like put anything in the back to hold it up. I was like, we're just gonna go with using those holes to our advantage. But I wanted something pretty at the top, and who knew a lanyard at Dollar Tree was gonna work? So I cut some of the beads off, so I had some string. That way I could scale this down to size so it wasn't super duper long. And I also wanted to keep those beads. So those went in a bag. They're gonna go in the craft room for later projects, probably a Christmas thing coming up. If you didn't know, I have another channel called The Cozy Christmas Cottage. If you love Christmas, you wanna head on over and subscribe over there, as we're just getting rolling with the 2025 season. So lots of Christmas is already happening over there. If you're not quite ready for it, don't worry here. Christmas is gonna wait until, closer to Christmas time. We're doing more fall. And just basic cute stuff like this jewelry holder. Look how cute this turned out. Now, after I hung this up, I was like, you know what? I have so much extra room on here. I wish I would have added some command hooks to the bottom, and that would have made more room for storage for maybe bracelets or shorter necklaces. So there's an extra idea for you if you want to give this one a try. Dollar Tree is always surprising me. Look at this awesome tray. So a little bit different wood, but the same kind of makeup as that pumpkin at the start, but it's more thin. It's kind of got that surfboard shape, but we're gonna give this a fall vibe. Guess I wanted to show you it was only $1.25. Yay for that. And we're gonna pair it with 2 of these Dollar Tree handles. And we're just gonna add it to the sides and kind of turn this into more of a decorative piece than a useful piece. Now I am gonna be using my vinyl cutter. If you don't have a vinyl machine, you can either skip ahead to the next project, or you can recreate this project by grabbing out a white paint pen and freehanding it. You can absolutely do that too. I love my vinyl machine. I'm going to use my vinyl machine any chance I get. So I have this design in my Cricut profile. So if you are a Cricut user, I will link my profile down below so you can grab that design and recreate this super easy peasy. And I just added some matte white vinyl into my machine and let the machine do the work and create the pumpkin patch design for me. And just because I have a little bit of time here, I thought I would kind of mention that I do have the new Cricut Maker 4. And if you've been wanting to upgrade, or you just want to start out with a Cricut machine that works really well, this is highly recommended because it goes super fast. Now I did speed that up. That wasn't real time, but I definitely think this is much quicker than the last Cricut machine that I had, and I love it. So do recommend it. I'll link it down below for you. But they still have other machines out available as well. But this one's, pretty affordable for a vinyl cutting machine for crafters. So what I did here is I just weeded out my design. I'm going to add my transfer tape to the top, and we are going to transfer that vinyl onto the center of the Dollar Tree tray. Loving that. In comes our Dollar Tree hardware. We're going to add this on there. Since this is more decorative, I'm going to just glue it on. It's going to be quicker. And like I said, we're not going to put anything on this and use it like a tray to lift with. So I didn't feel the need to really, drill holes, cut down the screws, add them all in there. So we are just going to glue these on and prop it up more like a pretty wood sign versus an actual usable tray. But if you didn't want to put the vinyl decal in the middle, you could use this as a decorative tray, put some vase filler in the middle, put some candles on it, put some candy on it for Halloween, whatever. I think this is very, very versatile, and I actually really, really love it as an alternative to a wood sign. This is an oldie but a goodie, but I wanted to bring it back because it is such a chic look, and if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. I'm going to grab one of the acrylic larger sheets from Dollar Tree, 2 of their gold drawer pulls, and we are going to literally just make a tray. Glue the handles right onto the sides of this tray like we did the last one. You don't need those screws. Use your E6000 glue and glue them on there, and this is good to go. It is so pretty. You could even add maybe some scrapbook paper under it. You could maybe paint it with a mirrored look spray paint. If you wanted a mirror look, that would be pretty, but I just kept this simple and basic, and it looks, like I said, very chic. And if you can't find the acrylic sheets at Dollar Tree, you can find some on Amazon, so I will have a link to that in the description box below, along with all the other supplies you'll see me using in today's video. Now, you're either gonna love this or hate this, but I hope you love it because I ended up loving it. You're gonna need a bunch of drawer pulls and a bamboo cutting board from Dollar Tree. We're gonna literally line the middle of this cutting board up with those drawer pulls. I only had 4 of them, but after I got this done, I definitely could have added at least 2 more. So what I did is I just drew 2 lines down the middle the long way on this cutting board and evenly spaced out the holes of where these handles are gonna go. That way I could just go through and drill the holes all at the same time. Because there were so many screws, I definitely felt the need to go ahead and sand the front side and the back side down really well so they were nice and smooth. You can use a sanding block from Dollar Tree to do that. And then, yes, again, we have got to go through and cut down all of our screws in half-ish so we can put those handles on permanently. Yes, I was kind of disappointed. I don't know if I didn't mark these right or what, but my screws didn't quite, or my handles didn't quite line up perfectly. Good enough though, because we're using this for tacos. It's a taco board. How perfect is this? Like I said, I probably could have added 2 more, which would give me more room for more tacos, and more tacos is always better. Now, I know I'm doing a lot of projects using cutting boards. However, I had lots left over because I just posted a video using cutting boards and made a full video of hacks. It's another great video to head over and watch next. This was one of the projects in that video, and I had to bring it back because it's using a drawer bowl. So if you haven't seen it, you get to see it now. We are going to cut the end of a cutting board about 2.5 inches. Yes, you're gonna need some kind of saw. I have a miter saw, but a hand saw, going at it, will cut it down too, which is a more affordable way of doing it. But I love my miter saw. I mean, girl power here. So we cut that section off. We are now going to move our saw over to about 45 degrees because we need to cut some triangles. What are we making? We're making a cookbook stand, okay? We're making a cookbook stand, and we want this to stand up. So we're making little brackets for the back. I have a 1x4 that I am going to cut 2 triangles out of at that 45-degree angle. The other angle is a 90-degree angle, and that's gonna sit on the table for us and hold this up. But we're still using those Dollar Tree cutting boards and a handle for this project, which is pretty cool. All right, so here's the pieces you need. A full cutting board. You're gonna need the little 2.5-inch piece you cut off the bottom of one, and then those 2 triangles. And now it's time to put all these pieces together. So we're gonna draw a line so we have a straight line across the bottom where we want that shelf to sit. And yes, I drew a line on the front and the back one's gonna come in handy here in a second, but first we need to put some wood glue onto the edge of our shelf, put it on the straight line. A tip here is you can use a baby wipe to get any excess bleed from your wood glue off there, which I highly recommend doing so it doesn't dry goopy. And then I just use my brad nailer to put a couple brad nails in the back to hold the shelf on the front. And again, I just cleaned off any excess glue, and we're gonna start now adding those triangles to the back. This is how it is going to sit. So grab your wood glue again, add some to your longer side. Your 90-degree angle will be on the table. It's gonna lean back into that 45-degree angle. And then again, using brad nails to pop a few into the top and the bottom so these stay on permanently. If you don't have a brad nailer, hammer and nails works, or you can tape up that wood glue with some masking tape and let it sit overnight, and it will hold tight for you as well. Now here's where that Dollar Tree handle comes into play. We're going to use that as a little barrier on the front of the shelf, so when we put our cookbook on there, it doesn't slide off. So this is before I had bolt cutters. So what I did is actually just use my E6000 glue, glued it on there, taped it up so that it would be able to sit overnight and become sturdy. If I would go back to do this now, I would totally drill a hole, use my bolt cutters, cut down the screws so that they would be more permanent into the wood. But we all use what we have. That's what crafting is all about. Use what's in your craft room, use what's in your craft stash, and make do without having to go out and buy expensive tools and things like that. But I do recommend that bolt cutter. That is going to be worth the investment. So this is what it looks like all finished. Time to add it to the kitchen and add the cookbook and put it to use. For this DIY, you're gonna need a wood round about 12 inches wide. You're gonna need a Lazy Susan from Dollar Tree, and we are gonna spray paint this black so you can't see inside the clear Lazy Susan. Now this is from a previous organization video, so you may have seen this one as well too, but we are using handles, so I thought I would throw this in here for those of you who have missed that video. So I did 2 coats of that black spray paint, and while that is drying, we're gonna work on the wood round. So it does have those jute hangers at the top. I removed that. There were holes, so we're gonna fill those in with some spackling and sand those smooth. Once that's dry, we can come in and paint it. I used a traditional burnt umber acrylic paint for this, which is a little bit thin, so it goes on kind of like a stain. You can still see some of the wood grain through it, so I just did 1 coat of that and let it dry. And then in comes 2 of these drawer pulls. I picked the black ones, kind of the boxy looking ones for this, but totally up to you and your style, how you want to paint this or stain it or design it. So we're going to do 2 of those, and again, I just used my E6000 to glue these onto the sides and did not use the screws, but if you got the bolt cutters, you could, if you can cut these screws down and make it work with a thin wood. All right, so our top is done, our bottom is dry. We can put these together. So what we're gonna do is I actually want this tray to sit on top and kind of create some hidden storage, but I still want it to act like a Lazy Susan. So the trick here is to add some food safe silicone adhesive to the sides, except we're not going to glue it down. We're actually going to let this adhesive sit overnight. I made it gloopy on purpose because once the silicone grabs on, it's going to make it to where now we're able to lift that tray off and make hidden storage inside of the Lazy Susan, but it's going to grab on to the silicone and still allow it to twist and spin. I've had so much fun DIYing with you today. If you could, leave me your favorite project down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new, and I'll have that wallpaper and the cutting board hack videos popping up on your screen so you can pick which one you want to watch next. Head on over and I'll see you there for more Dollar Tree DIYs. Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a creative day.